We are now live. There, I can go ahead and copy some shit.
Got a dual monitor setup. It's pretty cool.
Fuck yeah. I've got one back home. I was really thinking about going with the triple monitor setup, but it's just such a pain in the ass. It's too much for me to look at all at once. Alright.
If I stop deploying and make up enough money, I'll probably end up getting a 3 monitor.
Yeah.
It'll allow me to, especially if I start playing D&D online.
Right? That's something I'd love to see you do for us, is just do like a sober
I'm
game
down.
thing.
So in 2024, D&D Beyond is supposed to have an online platform with online maps and all that stuff. All customizable.
That's so exciting.
But there's already websites out there that do all that. So right now I use D&D Beyond for encounter.
You're breaking up real bad. It's okay. Frank's just frozen.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay.
Between the both of us, we probably have, broadband from 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'm on an island and you're in an undisclosed secret location. Yeah. But I'm interested. Like Google Meets is pretty much the same as Zoom, but it seemed way easier to set up than Zoom did to me.
Yes. The only thing with Google Meets is you have to have some out provider who can stream live.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get to the point where we don't need to stream. We can just use Stream to randomly talk to people instead of using Stream to get people to Zoom meetings. Use Facebook Live and YouTube Live to get them to the meetings.
Yeah. As much as we have our own organic reach, I still feel like our meetings are so unknown for the most part. Most people at this point, I feel like, know about us as an organization. But I really don't feel like we're promoting the meetings themselves the right way. But
there's not really any other way we can do it unless we literally post every day about our meetings.
Yeah, and I feel like our group is more than enough, but having the live meetings for the people who really need them is great. we definitely have a pretty large core group at this point.
Yeah.
It's definitely bigger than it was a year ago.
I mean, yeah, it's growing. It's just,
It's slow.
even though it grows, it's we're not getting any interaction. And that's the frustrating part for me.
Yeah. Oh, I did go ahead and order the hardcover.
Did you?
Yeah, I had my mom get it for me for Christmas.
Nice. Did you order off the website or Amazon?
I ordered it through Amazon.
Okay. It's actually cheaper that way.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. Shopify upcharge.
Nope. Well, yeah. But Shopify upcharge from us, not from Shopify upcharging.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. Whatever. At least it's not money out of pocket.
Yeah.
What are you working on over there?
So on my phone case,
Mm-hmm.
I have a little
Kickstand.
stand,
Yeah.
but the one that came on this phone case broke. So I ripped the one off my old phone case and I'm gonna put it on this phone case.
Yeah.
But the sizes are not the same, so I've got to do some little work.
Oh, I just kind of figured you were over there with a knife creating some kind of masterpiece out of some garbage wood you found.
I mean, I thought about it. Last time I was here, I did bring my carving tools.
Woohoo.
That was my very first practice run with my carving tools.
Wow. I know when I leave here, I'm bringing home my dad's old router and maybe one of his chop saws so I can
Nice.
do a little bit more work at home. So had you forgotten that you had changed the meeting times?
So, no, I knew I changed the meeting times, but even though where I'm at changed, they changed the time zone, so it went back with the states.
Mm-hmm.
The base didn't.
Okay.
So I thought it was going to be at 1 o'clock, but apparently I put it too early and went to midnight, which is technically when I'm supposed to get off work.
Okay. So you're like fresh off the clock.
Literally, yeah.
Dope.
Which, I mean, I'm fine. Like, we've never left past midnight anyway, so.
Right. Okay. Well, as long as you don't get in trouble for it, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, is this going to be your time going forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to change it again until I get home.
Okay, that's fine. Did you do your homework?
I've been doing my homework.
Yeah,
I haven't really done shit lately.
yeah. Yeah. What was your What did you do for your homework besides setting boundaries?
Uh, so the whole last week I have taken to myself.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done anything extra. I haven't attempted to. Luckily for me, the new Pokemon game came out, so I had time to, deal with myself.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more of I realized I was overflowing my brain with what's the word I'm looking for? with social media, but social media in a way to where it was more work than
Mm-hmm.
anything. So I just cut it out. I stopped focusing on Juggalos and recovery and woodwork and all that stuff, and I focused on stuff that I enjoyed, which at this moment in time is Pokemon.
I'm proud of you.
And now it's getting to the point where now I'm just wasting time. So starting tomorrow, I want to start doing a little bit more and making sure I don't go overboard again.
Yeah. I mean, in all reality, Juggalos and Recovery is 90% handled. Like, I can edit the videos down. I can help navigate any of the other things for the most part. So you don't have to focus as hard as you have been on it, and you can really focus
Yeah,
on your woodworking stuff, which I feel like brings you
yeah,
a lot more joy.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Because I get to do the hands-on stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not that Juggles and Recovery doesn't give me joy. It's the fact that I allowed myself to get so one of my things is I get myself so deep into everything that I'm doing, and it's I tend to put everything else to the side,
Mm-hmm.
and what I tend to forget is the fact that I have other priorities in life, and those priorities tend to get pushed off and not dealt with while I'm focused on everything. Like for weeks, I was only working on Juggalos and recovery stuff. Like I would do research on woodworking and stuff like that, but like Juggalos and recovery was everything. But the thing with this is, even though I've got you helping and D helping and Nate running another meeting, it doesn't it takes pressure off of me. But if I don't get email marketing out, and if I don't get, you know, this is the thing with this. I honestly don't see marketing to buy stuff working for us because it doesn't. I've proven it
Yeah.
many years in a row. The only time things actually work is when things in real life go catastrophic, and then people start coming in, as you've seen within the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's kind of messed up, and dealing with it for so many years, it gets the best of you sometimes.
Uh, Believe me, we get it. This is how we deal with things. I know how it goes. Let me get some more light in here. My camera's out of focus.
I think
Is that any better?
put your hand up to the camera, and then that's a little bit better.
Yeah. I just bought like the newer, higher end Logitech, so it should be a better quality camera than what I've had in the past. It's just the focusing features on it are god awful because it's constantly trying to autofocus, and I can't figure out how to turn it off.
There should be something in the settings for that.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. I also ordered a new microphone, so once I get home, which will probably be in another week or two, I'll have a better quality microphone as well.
Nice.
Yeah. But well, we'll just kind of see what we can do. But I definitely agree. Like, we tend to explode when it comes to catastrophic events. Like, that's when
Yep.
people really kind of want us and see the value in us, but we're also very popular in person. It's just,
Did you see? I'm assuming at one point in your life you were a Power Rangers fan.
oh yeah, I saw.
He's J.C. David, right?
Yep, I can't say I'm
He's
surprised.
always been my favorite.
Yep.
He's That's all he's been doing. His whole life was karate and Power Rangers
I
stuff.
know.
And he committed suicide.
Right. But at the same time, I really can't say I'm surprised either.
Was that?
When you look at his career, especially after Power Rangers, he went into so many different ventures and failed at 90% of them.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things that kind of sucks when you're only known for one thing, even though you're good at a lot of things. And that probably is what ended up happening.
I hope it's not just that simple. That guy was probably, well, I wouldn't say probably, he was an extremely nice person.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm sure.
I always wanted to meet him, but I never got a chance.
Yeah, I met him at a comic book convention many, 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 many years ago. He's a nice guy, but just I just can't say I'm real surprised. Our fucking Facebook reach is also ass. I don't really understand what's going on there.
Um,
Oh, there's a Stacy.
Nate is adding a bunch of people to the group. Hey, baby.
Cool.
And one of them was Gilgamesh.
What
I'm
up,
not going to
Bricks?
be able to be on for a long period today.
What up?
What's up, Bricks?
How much, y'all?
What's up? Why not, Stacy?
I'm going to Henry School to talk to them about his grades.
Bad?
Well, it's making him ineligible to play.
Oh, so they're bad.
Mostly just history. So, Coach Woodruff's going to show me how to work the Google Classroom shit.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it kind of works because I really didn't want him playing in the tournament today and tomorrow anyway. But I don't want my kid to have bad grades.
Yeah. I agree.
Hello.
How you doing
That's a
today?
nice hoodie you're wearing.
Huh?
Talking to my wife. That's a nice hoodie that she's wearing.
Oh, shit.
How you doing, Bricks?
I'm pretty good. How about y'all, man?
I'm hanging in there. I heard you had a little bit of a slip.
Yeah, it was very, very minor. It wasn't worth it, and that ain't gonna happen again. That's not gonna happen again. Well, I was in my car, took my mom and my aunt to church, and for some dumb reason I was like, I wonder what's still in the trunk, because I haven't been in my car for months. I've been in Arizona. So I I go into the trunk. There's really nothing in here unless we're all cleaned out. I lift up to where the spare tire is. And, like, I find like a half a pill that like must have slipped between the cracks somewhere. And I think about it for like a good like 20 minutes. I'm sitting in the car just with it and shit. And it's like, it was just a weakness, a moment of weakness that I had, you know, it's like, well, it's probably not going to affect me like how I think it is anyway. And it didn't, but it kind of did. I was like, it was just enough to be like, you know, like, just get like a warm, fuzzy feeling on it. And it was like, it wasn't even worth it. You know?
Yeah.
Just like, but anyway, I told myself, I was like, I'm not doing this again. I can't, I'm not gonna like ruin everything that I got going on. Shoot. My girl's calling me. Hold on a sec. Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, you're fine, man.
All right, brother. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Stacy, I'm so proud of you for dressing appropriately for meetings at school.
Yeah, I so did not think about that. But my give a fuck attitude, whatever.
Fair enough. I just thought I could give you some shit because, you know, you won't be around for long. You're the replacement Frank for the moment.
Fine, I can take it. I got bones done last night.
You got bones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got bones done, like Ruger.
Oh.
And I forgot that I got the tattoo. I forgot that I got the tattoo right here. Look at me.
I'm looking at you.
No, you're not.
I have two monitors set up. You're over here,
right here.
camera's over here.
And I fucking forgot. And I went, God damn it! Like, just like that was on the couch, on the arm of the couch. And I went, ah!
Smart.
In a hot minute. I woke up. 100%. The bus is here to pick the kids up to go to the basketball game.
Henry's not to be on it.
Nope. So I'm just gonna, like, I got 20 minutes before I need to go inside. I'm probably gonna go in there in like 10 minutes. And then I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna fucking sit in the car and wait for him to get out of school. I ain't driving back home and turn around and drive to the bus stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna have an hour and 45 minutes.
Do we want to start this meeting?
No, it's on an odd time.
Yeah, I know. It is on an odd time, but
I'm an odd person.
yeah. Do we want to wait for Briggs to get back in?
I mean, I can still do the intro and just tell him what the word is when he comes in.
Yeah, let's go for it, because we're already on all our platforms.
Alright, my name is Frank. I'll be running the meeting tonight. Juggalos in Recovery is about the community in recovery. There is no judgment here. Everyone is unique, and so is their recovery. Topic will be rolled on the gym list. Please feel free to talk about our experience. Your experience. This meeting is about an hour long. For any newcomers, we appreciate the strength and humility you bring to the meeting, and we are happy you are here. Now, let's roll. Before I begin rolling, the gym list is now published, ebook, paperback, and hardcover on Amazon and our website. All you gotta look up is Juggalo Improvement Meeting. Focus. How should you focus it? I like to focus on this. Anyways, just look it up, go to the website, find it. Rolled healing. This is just a copy I printed out. The first physical copy of the gym list. Alright. 25. Knowing your worth. Oh, I bet you're happy you're leaving, huh? She is the worst at it.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing your worth under healing. So, knowing your worth, let's see. I would have to say, it's probably one of the things I had a little bit of an issue with too, especially in the beginning. The way my brain was programmed growing up, and I say it that way so the blame doesn't get put on other people, because I'm an adult now, and those people, everything happened in the past, so those people don't deserve for me to continue blaming them. It's my way of healing. So as I was growing up, I was taught and programmed, my brain was programmed in a way, even though it seemed normal to me at the time, that nothing I ever did was good enough. No matter what I did, I just wasn't the best at anything. I still not. And one thing that I had to learn was, even though I'm not good, not the best at anything, doesn't mean I'm not good at it. Doesn't mean that there was something that I can bring to the table that wasn't at the table already. Doesn't mean that other people can't do it. It just means that I'm the one at the table that can bring it into the situation. And I've realized over a few years that a lot of the times it's my mentality towards the subject, or my outlook on the subject. It's not like my wisdom or anything like that. It's just how my brain works that's different than everybody's. And it tends to improve for the majority of the situations, the outcome, and tends to help people. Now, I'm not for everybody. I don't pretend to be. I don't care to be. but I know that some people are capable of appreciating my worth. But I had to discover what my worth was to begin with. So a lot of that was looking in the mirror and telling myself and being honest with myself what I'm good at doing and what I'm not good at doing, finding out what those boundaries were. A lot of times, I was living in a delusional space in my brain, and even though to me it was 100% real, the real world saw it right through it. And for me, that was extremely hard because it made me feel like I didn't build these delusional worlds in my head or situations in my head on purpose. But it was just something I did because of how my brain was programmed. And once I started realizing that, I looked horrible when I looked in the mirror. I did not like who I was. I did not like how I thought people were viewing me. And that was a very, very hard pill to swallow. And that was one of the toughest things I had to deal with when it came to knowing what my worth was to myself, to the world, to people who know me, don't know me. My worth. Here's a story. Let's see if I can find it real quick. You can talk. Okay, bye.
Stacy's
Love you too.
leaving us. Boo.
Yeah. Story of value. A father said to his daughter, graduated with honors to his car I acquired many years ago. It is several years old, but before I give it to you, take it to a used car lot downtown and tell them I want to sell it and see how much they offer you. The daughter went to the used car lot, returned to her father and said they offered me $1,000 because it looks very worn out. Father said, take it to the pawn shop. The daughter went to the pawn shop, returned to her father and said the pawn shop offered $100 because it's a very old car. The father asked his daughter to go to a car club and show them the car. The daughter took the car to the club, returned, and some people in the club offered $100,000 for its since. For it is a Nissan Skyline R34, iconic car sought out after by many. Father said to his daughter, the right place values you the right way. If you are not valued, don't be angry. And it means you are in the wrong place. And that spoke huge to me, not just on how other people see you and what type of people I want to be around, but also depends on what type of mindset that you're in and how you value yourself. Hello, D.
I'm probably not going to be able to join most of the Monday meetings because it's when I'm coming into work and I'm about to go into a staff meeting.
That's fine.
And Chris, I'll probably get with you Thursday to help me run through the Google Meets for Friday.
It's pretty straightforward for real. The biggest thing is
the only thing. Go ahead.
The biggest pain in the ass is setting up the OBS just so we can do the stream.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get your help with.
Yeah, it took me a few tries to figure it out, but it should be relatively straightforward for you.
I just figured I'd call you on my phone while I have my laptop up and help you and get you to
Yeah,
walk me through it.
like the Google Meets part, super easy. The actual OBS part is slightly complicated, but I think it's good enough. Frank's computer just died, so
Yeah, I got the notification.
so
I'm feeling much better. Just some muscle relaxer and lidocaine patches, icy hot spray, and some rest.
okay,
Much needed recovery time.
all right. Well, you had me worried.
Wear and tear from the job. Yeah, no, I beat my body up at work hell bad. It's just getting worse with age.
I mean, that's everything, but you gotta keep staying in motion as much as you can. I'm so jealous of that jersey.
Go back on my diet and yeah, I just need to go back on my diet and start taking my vitamins again. Being a scumbag.
Frank, did you see Dee's jersey?
No. You got one too?
Motherfuckers, I still haven't gotten one.
The hatchet man on the back and it has 17 on the back. I had to grab it at the gathering because the Dark Carnival said so.
Understood.
So the biggest thing I know about Google Meets is you need to actually press record when you get in. It's not automatic like Zoom was.
I also have my
that's
OBS to start recording as soon as I start streaming, so we got backups on backups.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have Press walk me through the OBS part because I'm sure I'll have hiccups with it.
I'm not even gonna use OBS. If you guys aren't in the meeting, I'm not streaming. I'm just gonna sit here to the meeting and start posting like crazy.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah. Like I said, I probably, if I catch any of the Monday meeting, I'll be hella late anyways. And then who knows how our attendance will be with not having Zoom. Trying to get like Dave Blair and stuff to come over and
Yeah,
Joe and all of them.
Bricks has already been on. Joe may not be coming around to meetings until after we're done streaming because of some shit. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. We don't.
I mean, but I downloaded the app and joined fairly easy, so I don't see why nobody else could.
Right.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
99% of people have Gmails nowadays.
Right. I mean, it's just this generation's Hotmail.
Exactly. So fairly easy to download an app.
Yep.
Took me all of 1 minute.
Right.
I went on Facebook, clicked the link, downloaded the app, clicked the link again after I set up the app, and it was in.
Yeah. Like it's pretty simple, so we should be good. Go into work, do your thing. Frank, the meeting topic was what? Frank is frozen because secret location.
I'm here.
Okay. What was the
we're still gonna have the recaps on YouTube and shit, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I'll just be watching recaps a lot of Mondays.
That's fine, man. You got your own responsibilities. We get it.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that I didn't realize I put this meeting this early. Time zones and all that crap was difficult here. So I would prefer to change it, but I don't want to continue changing it. So it's just going to stay at 4 o'clock. Your guys' time, and then go from there until I get home.
Yeah. What would be the ideal time for you?
Me?
No, for Frank.
I mean, right about now would be a good time. So like 4:30 or 5 o'clock.
I feel like that's probably a better time because 4 o'clock, most people aren't out of work yet.
Yeah, 5 o'clock is I'm usually in the clear to jump on, like between 5:30.
Yeah,
That's when I was usually jumping in.
yeah.
I'll switch next week till 5.
Okay, and then
Thanks for holding that Friday meeting for me since I was not there.
oh, dope! Did you see the YouTube video that I
How-
put up for it?
No, I have to go back and watch it still. I had a week of lots of sleeping.
Yeah,
How's your back doing?
It's still rough, but lidocaine patch is icy hot, and they gave me a muscle relaxer, so just trying to take it easy and not kill myself.
Yeah.
I went to work today all day, and I had to spray some icy hot. I didn't take anything for it, so that's good, but I'll probably take something later on in the evening before I go to bed, and then I've been laying on my massage and heating pad, which I hadn't been doing every night to loosen up the muscles. Self-care is important. I was not doing that too much,
Right.
too well.
Mm-hmm.
So the recap for the meeting I had on your day ended up being a whole 3 minutes.
Oh wow! Nobody jumped on.
No, Nate did, but his connection was so bad I just ended up cutting his parts out.
Well, happens.
Yeah, I know. Well, it is what it is. I had a whole bunch of technical
Are you
bullshit.
using DaVinci Resolve?
I wasn't able to get DaVinci to Resolve to work at all.
Well, I'll see you Wednesday. I'm going to jump off here, and I'll get with you Thursday to run through the OBS.
Yeah. I got an HP Omen last year, so it's running Ryzen 7. It's got its own dedicated video card, and it's got 32 gigs of RAM. It just literally crashes every time I try to run it, and I think it might just be the fact that I don't have an Intel processor. Yeah. It's that AMD compatibility bullshit.
You're just trying to get too fancy. Just go over to Mac.
No. I don't feel like paying
I
the
started
extra.
editing my.
I just don't want to pay the extra $1,000 on top of the price sticker. I usually run Linux on everything anyway.
You can do that on Mac anyways.
I know, but it costs $1,000 more to have less capabilities.
What kind of less capability are you talking about? I can
Literally,
do everything you can do on my Mac.
yes, but you paid $1,000 more for the same exact specs.
I paid $1,600 for my laptop.
I paid $1,200 for mine, and it's probably got a better processor than yours does.
My MacBook Air that I bought in 2016 for $999 still runs, and I still can edit videos and all that stuff on there. The only reason why I upgraded to a MacBook Pro was because I needed better processing times for the videos.
Right. And it's the same thing for me, which is why I upgraded my computer. I was running an HP EliteBook from 2006 up until 2 years ago.
No, I never had good times with any type of Windows anything.
Yeah, me either, which is why I run purely Linux 90% of the time. I just like software compatibility, which is the only reason I run Windows.
Alright, back to the meeting. I'm pretty sure I hit the points that I need to on worth.
Mhm.
So why don't you say a little bit of your side of it?
So, for me, it took me forever to see worth in what I did. Because for me, the only thing I was ever really known for was playing games. That's not really something to be proud of. It wasn't until I had to start all the way over and start with next to nothing that I started to see the value in what I could put forward. So when I moved from Maryland to Ohio, couch surfed, got my first place. Great. I thought that was a huge accomplishment. I was the first out of any of my friends that was able to live on their own and support themselves. And that really gave me a bit of a more self value. And then eventually I just started setting goals and achieving them, like buying big expensive things that I wanted for myself instead of buying just what I needed to get by. And that gave me more idea of what I was worth as a person, because then I was able to do things that were just for me and weren't for everybody else. And that allowed me to have a little bit more value of myself. And then I eventually got to the point where other people were asking me to do things, which gave me more value on what I was worth, because people now wanted my effort. And then I started telling people no, because I started to value my own time more than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it for me.
Yeah, that's a very interesting mental change that you deal with. You start being able to say no to things. I think when it comes to knowing your worth, it also ties into knowing your boundaries and knowing your limits and being able to not only know what you're worth, but how much you're able to give out as well.
Yeah,
It's like you're on the road and it kind of branches off, but it's very, very similar.
well, and you and I have roughly the same ethic, and we're definitely both workaholics. And for me, it just came down to capability. I know I have limitations, so I have to set up these boundaries. Because if I push past my boundaries too much, I end up hurting myself. And that doesn't do anybody any good.
True.
I'm sure you've been in that exact same position, doing a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
same things that you and I both do. You know, you push yourself.
Yeah.
You can only push yourself so far. You know, we don't have this unending cup of energy or capability. Your body eventually gives up, and mine gives up pretty easily these days now that I'm old.
Yeah. And I don't honestly, for me, I don't see it as that my age having an impact on it yet. Right now, I feel like it's I want to accomplish so much
Mm-hmm.
that I don't like the things that I want to accomplish. I don't know how to prioritize those things. So for some people, it might be easy to prioritize what you want to accomplish, but for me, I want to make sure Juggles and Recovery is taken care of. I want to get the woodworking business off the ground. I want to set up D&D sessions for whoever and whenever. I want to write my book. I want to take time for myself. I want to give time to my family. I want to be able to save money. I want to do all these things. I still got to take care of the house and rebuild the car, and when I get home, sell a truck, and I got all these things. And then on top of that, somewhere in there, I got to make money.
Right. So
At this point, I've got to work. So now, what I've been doing is I've been stacking those things too much, and I just happen to see a Jenga tower in front of me, and it kind of explains it a lot. My Jenga tower got too wobbly and it fell back, as we saw what the outcome of that was last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna put it to you this way, because you do better listening than you do thinking for yourself sometimes. Yeah, and you know it's true.
Yeah.
You need to put you making money first, because you can't take care of your car, you can't take care of your house, you can't have time for your family if you're not making money. You can't have time for a secondary business if you're not already making money. You definitely don't have time to volunteer for a non-profit, even though you're the one running it as the president, if you're not making money. So your job needs to be your primary priority. Your family obviously is going to come second. The things that make your life fulfilling need to go next. And then your own personal ventures should go right after that. And whether or not that includes us is wonderful. I'm going to mute you, Bryant. You're loud. I can't mute him. He muted
I
himself.
already did.
Okay. But yeah, after all of the things that are necessary for making a frank, rounded person, then you can put more effort into everybody else.
See, I think my biggest issue that I have, I agree to a point. The biggest issue I have with what you just said is having to put my job first. That is something I don't want to do.
No. Nobody wants to work first. Believe me, I don't work. I don't want to work first. I made that my priority. But you have all of these things that you have to be responsible for. And when you take that compounding stress of financial responsibility and throw that in limbo, that adds so much stress to the rest of your life. And that makes everything else 10 times harder.
True. I think. I was gonna go somewhere. No. Nope. My brain shut off. It means I don't have nothing to say.
That's weird. That's
It's
very
weird.
not you. I can talk about finances some more.
I am staring at the gym list, and there's something that's caught my eye.
Okay.
And I want to hear your take on it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Now, mind you, it's still open under the healing category, and it's topic number 30. It says, "Do apologies really matter?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Do verbal apologies really matter?
I think so.
Why?
For when it comes to especially interpersonal relationships, people that are unavoidable in your life, people that you end up running into here and there, making those apologies, even if they don't mean that much to you, they also free your mind of any guilt associated with something that you may or may not have done. Even just making yourself open to that person by showing your vulnerable side makes yourself more human than the way that they may have originally viewed you.
See, in a way, I agree, but my personal opinion on this, I think verbal apologies are overrated.
Okay, let's hear it.
I think actions speak louder than words. There's many of people that I never physically, verbally apologize to, but they see how I've changed over the last 9 years, and they see all the good things that I've been doing, and I talk to them like they're actual human beings. And if the conversation does come up, I talk to them and explain to them what happened, give my actual explanation to them. In a way, yes, that could be seen as an apology, but it's literally just logically describing what happened
Right.
and why I was acting the way I was acting. What I, the way I see it is, you son of a bitch, you found a way. Fuck you both.
What was the meeting topic? I just heard about amends, basically.
So
I'm not sure of it.
So the actual meeting topic was knowing your worth, but I've been staring at this secondary
That's a good
topic.
one.
Yeah, knowing your worth. So I've been staring at this "Do apologies really matter?" topic on the gym list, and I just wanted to talk about it because I feel like I have an extremely different view on verbal apologies. Because I believe, for me, I've had better experience because I used to apologize when I was drinking all the time for everything that I did, and I never meant a goddamn word I said. So it came to the point where my actions had to speak for me, and I was only capable of showing people that I had changed before they would actually believe that I would change. Go ahead, D. Thank you for putting your hand down.
Yeah, I mean, I like both of these topics. Knowing your worth. When you spend a lifelong state of addiction and low self-esteem, and you don't know who you are, what you're doing, so you don't show any worth. You basically, like, I was a slave to a paycheck, I was a slave to a friendship, I was, or whatever, no matter if it was good or bad, because I didn't feel like I deserved better friends, or deserved better people in my life, or deserved more money, or deserved a better job, and kind of like just used the drugs and alcohol to numb the fact, that I felt unworthy. When in reality, I was worth more, but I would never get more when I was drinking and drugging, you know what I mean? Like, nobody would give me that chance. And, apologies, do they matter? Yeah, I like to go to sleep with a clean conscience. I don't know about you. But, like, a lot of stuff, like you were saying, like, I did the living amends for years. Because I figured the best way to show anybody who's seen me time and time again, get right for a little while and then do whatever, would be to show them by walking it, and eventually that led to doing the verbal amends, because that still matters, cleaning up my messes, my wreckage, from all the things I did matters. And the longer I stay sober, the more random people pop up in my Facebook that I didn't even think about in doing like a fourth or a fifth step or writing amends. I didn't think about them. They weren't even on my radar. Whatever happened between us didn't even fucking matter anymore. But they pop up, and I know I was that hurricane in everybody's life, and I'm like, I don't know if I hurt you at all, or what I did, or if I did, but it's very possible I could have, basically. So let me make an amends, because I don't know, just because if there's any ill feelings left there, I would rather have that resolved. And most people are like, bro, what the past is past, none of that even matters, bro. I'm just glad you're doing good. I'm like, oh, dope. And then they tell me how they've been doing. I'm like, oh, dope, that's pretty fresh. And, rekindling old friendships that are no longer bad friendships, I guess you could say. Because we're both leading different ways of life. Not that we'll ever be those kind of friends again, because all the drugs and partying and all the shit we did in our past, So it'll probably never be like that, but at least we could talk if we need to talk, Or we know that door is open for each other, if it's needed.
I like that.
It's rebuilding a burnt down bridge that you never thought was going to get rebuilt.
And that was my point exactly. If you don't make that effort to apologize to somebody, if you have to deal with them ever again, they're going to have this preconceived notion of you, no matter how good you are or how good you were to them. If they feel like you somehow wronged them and you don't apologize, they're going to treat you like garbage.
See, yeah, I mean, I feel just like even if I felt I was completely right in every attitude of it, doesn't mean that somebody can't harbor a resentment against me. So there's no reason why I can't say, hey, I don't know why we haven't talked in forever, but I'm sorry if like something happened between us. I hope we could, move past whatever's going on and like, be cool. And that's kind of the hardest thing to do is like when we justify our actions, being able to still apologize because maybe the other side's hurting and we don't know it. Because like I was telling you were on mute or whatever. I don't know if you heard me, but I've had old friendships where I'm like, I don't know I did anything wrong at all, but if I did, like, because we haven't talked in years for whatever reason, like, let me clear it up so that door is reestablished. Doesn't mean we'll ever be super tight again, super cool, but the doors are open.
See, that goes a step further than I allow myself to go. I don't want to go that far. And see, the way I see it, the people who matter in my life will put effort into knowing me as a person. If they want to be a part of my life, I don't care how small my circle is. I've lived alone the majority of my life. I don't care how small my circle is. If you want to be a part of my life, all you gotta do is reach out. You want to get to know me, you harbor resentments, bring it to my attention. But I'm not going to sit there and beg. I'm not going to sit there and explain myself. I'm going to give you the logical answer, and then my actions can speak louder than what my words will actually do, because I know in my heart that I'm a good person. And whether you want to see that or not is up to you. So I won't go out of my way to tell people, hey, come follow me, come find me, come talk to me, whatever, because I'll be honest, I don't care what's bothering you in your life. Unless you make it my problem, that has no effect on me. Just like, and this goes into something I've been saying since I was teenager. I don't care what your sexuality is. I don't care what you believe your gender is. I don't care what you have going on in your personal life. Your life does not affect me. If your life ends up affecting me, then I'll start giving a shit. But if your life doesn't affect me, why should I care? Go ahead, both of you talk.
So I mean, when I was saying that, it's not that I look out anybody. It's that they pop up in my feed. I'm not chasing nobody to be in my life either, but I'm willing to swallow my pride or my ego. If not because they're ever gonna be inner circle again, but if they feel ill towards me for whatever reason, because I know I can be blunt, I can be abrasive, I can joke and play too much, whatever. You know what I mean? But I'll just be like, yo, I haven't talked to you in a while, I don't know what's going on with you. And if we're chit-chatting and everything's cool, then a formal amends doesn't need to be make a formal apology. But some things like old people I ran with and did shit with, you know what I mean? Like, there is that bridge because we were both hurricanes, and I don't know how I could have affected that person. I'm not talking about anybody in sobriety or since I've been sober, because I usually am good about when I feel like shit, I know I'm in the wrong about that situation. That's when the amends is due. But, because I'll notice when I'm short with somebody or I'm irritated with somebody and I'm kind of like a dick to them. And I'll go back and be like, hey, I'm sorry if I came off like a dick earlier. It's nothing to do with you. I had X, Y, and Z going on. And I'm sorry if you got caught in the crosswind. But, like, old people from my past life, those are the ones I make the amends to, because you never know what they're holding on to. And if I clean my street and make that apology, maybe they can let go of some of the baggage they're holding on to, and that will help them in their journey of healing and growth. It's not for me, it's for them, you know?
All right. So I'm going to tell you just a real quick story about why I feel like apologies are necessary. Not even in a way that we're necessarily making amends. So, shortly after I bought my house, I bought this guy another shittier house and let them rent it from me in a rent to own situation. In the end, I ended up having to evict him and his whole family. And while I may have been justified in that situation and had done nothing wrong, it hurt them in a way that while I was responsible, I was not the cause of the issue. I still apologized for that situation, which allowed us to still have a form of a relationship because these were people that I had to see on a regular basis. Even though that I wasn't necessarily responsible for the situation, I still apologized for it because it allowed me to continue to harbor no guilt, and they felt justified in their own way and they were able to let go of their shit. And these are things that are necessary, especially in the position that you're in as a public face. You know, you are a public figure at this point. If you allow people to hold these resentments towards you, even whether or not they're justified, that ends up affecting everything you're involved in one way or the other. Because, you know, it only takes one person running off with the mouth for it to turn into an entire debacle.
See, and that's where my stance gets interesting, because I don't care what the one person or one group of people says, because I know from the amount of stuff I have succeeded in that you're not going to please everybody. You're not going to make everybody happy. You're always going to have haters. And the only way I know that I'm doing things that are good, well, not the only way, one of the ways I know that I'm succeeding is by having those people who like to talk shit, who like to blame me for something they had full control over. And I've already had that with Juggalos in recovery. And I can tell you from experience that I call them out on their bullshit. They can go run around all they want. I don't care. I'm not going to be held responsible for your actions. I'm not going to apologize to be political. I am not a politician. I am a human being who did not do anything wrong. If I did something wrong, yes, sure, I will apologize. And I'm not saying apologies are unnecessary. I'm saying people abuse apologies. There is always a situation. You can always find a way to make things happen or to use something. I do not apologize for my benefit. I apologize when I see that, like Dee was saying, those small situations, like I got short with my wife or someone at work or whatever. There was a guy at work who just left today. Him and I got into it on the flight line. Big old debacle. And he got up in my face. I never once apologized to him because I did nothing wrong. I was his supervisor, and he overstepped, and I had to put the foot down. And I have no problem. That's one of those things that I had to learn to do. Is I have no problem not feeling guilty for something that you caused yourself. And of course, I'm not talking directly to you two, I'm talking to you in general. So when I say that apologies are unnecessary, I don't mean that they're never a good thing to do. What I mean is that the way people use, or the way I used to use apologies, is unnecessary. I used to use them to get out of situations so people would stop bugging me. I would lie through my teeth and apologize. I'll never do it again. I'll never drink again. I'll never blah, blah, blah again. But I always would because I just didn't give a shit. Now I give too much of a shit about myself because I'm not going to hold the guilt that you're trying to put on me for something that I didn't do. I'm going to do what I need to do for me and the people that are in my inner circle. I don't have an outer circle. I have an inner circle, that's it. Because the people in the outer circle are just there to cause problems. I have a very small handful of friends that I talk to on a very regular basis. And when I say regular, I mean like far and few between, because my personal life is what I focus on. I don't have any friends physically close to me, so I just deal with whenever people have time, like these meetings, or whenever, like I could attempt to contact you guys and text and call and all. I'm not that type of person. It's just not who I am. I've tried. Every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, you pop in my head, we'll figure out, just say hi and check in. That's it. But when it comes to apologies, I know the difference between right and wrong. I know the difference when I do something wrong and when someone else does something wrong, or handles a situation that could have been handled better. I have no problem owning responsibility for something I have done, but I will not be held accountable for someone else's actions. And I've had to do that with Juggalos in recovery. Someone got mad because this, that, and the other, and no, that's not how the world works. The world works because you did something that caused you pain. And that's something a lot of us addicts in general have an issue dealing with, is the fact that it's always someone else's fault. That's why I give Britt's credit, because he took full responsibility for his actions.
Yeah.
He didn't say someone else put it there, set him up, or anything like that. He said, something happened, I took it, I fucked up. To me, the way he worded that, the way he dealt with that, he apologized to himself in that, but he never had to say the word, I apologize, or I'm sorry.
No, I
Because
agree.
in his mind, so that's where I was getting at. It's not that I think apologies are unnecessary. I think they're overrated because people abuse the words, I'm sorry and I apologize.
Yeah, I can agree with you there, because like I was saying, like in everyday life now that I've been sober, especially running a sober living, I have plenty of people that treat me like shit. Doesn't mean I owe them an apology. They want to be mad at me and not like me. Fuck them, not my problem. I have a job to do. But when I feel I'm in the wrong, because I can feel it, I know I was short there, I was an asshole there, and they didn't deserve it because they've always been nice to me. I'm going to clean my side. And usually, like, no worries, I understand, you're probably just stressed out, I could tell. And I'm like, thanks for understanding. Cool.
Yeah.
But when I know I'm doing everything I can, and somebody just, like, I'm going out of my way to try to help somebody too, or trying to, like, do my job, and they just want to be disrespectful and be a shithead, I'm like, I could, like, pack you up, discharge you, make your life a living hell, and here I am trying to be nice to you, and you're going to treat me like shit. You don't get an apology, and you go on my I will not fuck with you list. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you. You're just one of those people that nothing's good enough for you, and you're miserable. That's going to lead you to the same thing that always does. That's not my problem. That's yours, because obviously you're not working on yourself.
Yeah, and I think one of the hardest things, it's easy to deal with people you work with because you don't have to deal with them. You don't have like a special connection with them the majority of the time. Like, I know my job, probably in Brian's job, you get close to people, but they're
Well,
not
that's
like
family. I get connections with all the residents, and I'm closer with all the staff, and same at my other job.
I think the biggest issue that I have is when it comes to like people you dealt with your whole life. Those are the hardest ones to know when to apologize or when to set your foot down.
Yes,
I've
family.
recently had, yes, and I've recently, like extremely recently, had a conversation with a family member, and the conversation was very interesting to me. Uh, no, like there's no hard feelings towards this person. I don't think there's any hard feelings towards me. We both understand that we just don't agree on this one subject, but not agreeing on this one subject has caused a rift in our relationship to make our relationship change. My point of view on that situation is I don't think this person understands that there's a difference between self-preservation and growth. And there seems to be, at least from my point of view, a maturity level that isn't acquired, and it's really hard for me not to just call them out on their bullshit, and because this person is an older figure in my life, so it's one of those things like, are they actually ever going to listen to me? Like, no.
That's my relationship with my father. I didn't apologize the other day when he got upset, and I was just like, I don't need to apologize for anything, because I know through what was going on, we're pushing your regrets and your resentments that you have with yourself and your parenting onto me, and I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So,
And see,
I guess this is why me and you kind of get along, because I am the same with my friends. I don't really call, I don't really text. I'm a once in a blue moon guy. When I see you, I do. And we can pick up right where we left off, but I'm gonna check in. Even if I've known 15 years, it's like once every 6 months. How you doing? I was thinking about you. We talk for an hour and we catch up on life, and then that's it.
I know I've had the same best friend since the first grade, and him and I still talk, but it's like once, maybe every 8 months. And it's like, cool. I mean, when I go home and I hang out with them, it's like we're fucking kids again. We're just older, grumpier, hurt more kids. Like, I mean, it's just how it is. But yeah, there's a lot of situations in the world where, in life, I don't know if the world counts, but there's a lot of situations in life where knowing what you're worth, knowing your value, your personal values, not your value, your values that you hold, your morals, and knowing your boundaries have a huge impact on the type of relationship you have. One thing I've learned over the last few years is I used to want to be popular. I used to want everyone to know me, me to know everybody. I used to want to be outgoing. I could give two flying fucks about being popular now. Like when I go to the gathering and so many different people know my face and I don't know them, like it blows my mind, and I'm like, I've got to decompress after the gathering because I am so overwhelmed. It's just not my personality type. I like being alone. I like dealing with life in a very small group, and I've had to learn what my values were. I've had to learn where my boundaries were, and I've had to learn how to stand up for myself. I think that was one of the hardest things, is standing up for myself. And it's weird for me because I have two personalities. I have my at-home personality and I have my work personality. And the at-home personality, I can, in a very general sense, stand up for myself, open my foot down, whatever. But at work, up until last deployment, I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd let people walk all over me and all that stuff, and it made that deployment harder because I didn't learn until like the last month I was there to just say, no, fuck you, this is the way we're doing it. And I don't like being that guy who's an asshole, but now I've learned to be comfortable with it because I know sometimes the world needs it.
Right. It's necessary to set your boundaries. And you know me, I'm quick to cut people off. Just because, if you don't hold value in my life and you go against my own value of myself or my values, I don't really need to have you around because you're not going to add anything to it. It is what it is. We have to be steadfast. Not everybody that's been in our life needs to continue to be.
Yeah. It's amazing that all these things end up tying together. I'm sure I could roll another quick topic or whatever, and it would just we'd find a way to get it all together. I don't know. This topic is. I think I'm so passionate about this topic because I hurt for so long because I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know what my worth was, and I didn't know the right way to apologize or the right way when to apologize or when not to apologize, and when I didn't know those limits. Like in early sobriety, man, I had the hardest time making amends because amends to me like was just walking up saying, hey, I'm sorry for how I acted. I'm trying to get my life together. But then, like, after the first or second one, I realized I've said this so many fucking times, like, why would they want to believe me? And that's when I came with the mindset, if my higher power puts those people in my life, that's when I'll make my verbal apology. Up until that point, I'm just going to live my life a better way. And my actions will speak for my character, who I am.
Right. I think more so it's the idea of apologizing for a specific action. If you did something that, even in an inebriated state, that really hurt somebody, I feel like an apology for it is super important, but the actions are equally as important. As you can live your life the best way that you can. You can live your life and be so much better than you ever were. But if you don't own up to your fuck ups, how is anybody else supposed to know that you really did do better instead of just moving on from them?
So in that aspect, the one caveat I would put into that statement would be if to make that verbal apology matched with those actions, only if you contacting that person is not going to hurt them more. Because you're not going to physically hurt them, but it could hurt them more mentally and emotionally. It could have a huge impact on that.
Right, but isn't that one of our steps?
It's one of our steps. It's make sure you don't cause more drama. And step 9, step 8, one of those two. But it's one of those things where you have to know, like, in early sobriety, it was very hard for me to understand that. And I just go around apologizing to people for no reason. Well, I had a reason, but it felt like no reason because I did it so much. And yeah, I hurt a lot of people and I caused a lot of pain. But my actions now, a lot of the people that I wanted to apologize to ended up not being a part of my more a part than just that one season that they were a part of. So it's one of those things where you also have to take it easy on yourself and not say, okay, you have to apologize to everyone that you've ever wronged. That's not how life works. The reality is your world that your life, the universe, that your higher power, or whatever the case is going to give you the opportunity to make those amends, to say those apologies when the time is right. D, put that fucking thing down and talk.
I fucking agree 100% with what you're saying, because I feel a lot of the same ways. Like, just how all our meetings, the topics tie in together. It's just how, like, living a program of growth and healing, it all ties in together. It becomes a fluid motion, just like all these things intertwined. And, like, I'll always bring it up since I joined Juggalos in recovery. That Hobson Illmind 8 speaks perfectly what you're saying. Some people are seasoned, some people are lifetime, basically. Always evaluate your friendships and your higher power, the carnival god, whatever it is, you, Buddha, Allah, doesn't fucking matter. It's always going to put those people in your life at that time for some reason. It could be to show you things you don't want to see about yourself, show you things you want to see, push you forward. Or for you to help them out. There's plenty of reasons why people pop in your life. You don't know why until hindsight, you know. You might not know why until years later and you go, oh, shit. Right? And that's the crazy part of it. And, like, I run into a lot of people who are like you in early recovery. I'm still not an apologetic person. I'm not, like, I show gratitude through actions. I'm not super apologetic or anything, like. And even I've had, like, people like, he doesn't just say thank you. And I'm like, no, you should know I'm very, like, grateful for you. I'm not going to overly thank you for everything you do. Just like I'm not going to say sorry. And I see a lot of people that say sorry about everything. I'm like, bro, don't fucking say sorry. You have nothing to apologize for. Like, I have to set people straight all the time. Like, you say sorry too much, bro. Like, to stop. Don't be sorry. Be you.
See, I dealt with that, and I still deal with that. Not as much because I've worked on it, but that is a learned thing from our traumatic past. We've always felt so much guilt for doing something or whatever the case was in our past that we always feel the need to apologize, and that comes with self-worth and not knowing that you're good enough. So you always apologize for being not worthy of that person or that action.
I had those unworthy feelings. I was not the apologetic type. I was more like, fuck you, I'm not sorry. Fuck your feelings. Fuck I don't give a shit if I was wrong. Fuck off and die. Like, that was my mentality. So for me, when I do apologize for things, like, I mean it, because it takes a lot for me to go, I'm fucking wrong, sorry. Like, that's a big thing of swallowing pride and ego. Never an overly apologetic person. You know, of course, sometimes I apologize or make promises, and I didn't mean them just because I didn't, because I wanted to keep doing what I wanted to do, and obviously it bothered you. But it's the same thing, like, me showing up, interacting with people, or doing whatever I do work-wise, or even if I just meet up with you once a month and have a coffee with you, right? That's my gratitude for me being a part of life. So I'm not going to thank you for every little thing that goes on. Like, oh, thank you. Like, I think that's another thing that gets worn out. Same as I'm so thankful. Doesn't mean you're actually always thankful. Sometimes that turns into a saying that because you do and it's stroking the other person's ego. I do a lot of things without people noticing I'm doing things. Just like the medallion pickup where my sponsor speak and talk about behind the scene guys. I don't do anything for a fucking thank you. I don't care. I do it because it makes me feel good and I feel it's the right thing to do. I don't care if you notice it or not. And I don't want thank you, so I don't give them like that. Just like I don't want a bunch of I'm sorry's, I want change actions. That's why I try to do change actions, not a bunch of I'm fucking sorry. Because that gets, and through change actions, like, I think that's what brings a lot of people up, like, randomly from my past, is they've been trolling my Facebook profile, or they've been looking out for years, and they see all the stuff that's gone on over the years, and go, well, maybe I can talk to him now. Maybe he isn't the same. And they reach out, and I'm like, oh, well, this is God putting you in my life at this time to go, here's an amends that you didn't even think about in early recovery. So I clean my shit up. Because that's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. So I think something else that we need to touch on, especially since this is the topic. I see Chris's interest. So welcome to my brain, Christopher. So we've talked a lot about Bryant. I swear to God, I'm gonna kick you both out of the goddamn room. One of the things that I think we need to touch on, we've talked a lot about us apologizing, but we haven't touched on expecting apologies or amends from other people. That is a thing I had to learn to deal with.
And it still never gave me a proper amends. And I don't want it. My dad, he's the best grandpa ever, so I don't care.
So,
Him being the best grandpa is a good enough amends that I'll ever get. I don't ever want the verbal. Him to not get drunk ever again and be a good grandpa is good enough for me.
yeah. So I have one that's slightly different than that. So I don't know, Chris, you might know this. I don't know about if Dee does, but when I was 8, I was adopted by my mother's brother and his wife. And I've kind of sort of got an apology from my uncle, but I haven't talked to my now ex-aunt for a very long time. And I know I'm never going to get an apology from her. And she's the one who caused the most pain in my life. So when it comes to situations like that, you have to, I want to say you have to, the way I had to do it was I had to make amends with myself for how I dealt with those situations because I was not taught properly, I was not emotionally stable, I was not mentally capable, whatever the actual situation was. I had a part in it, but I needed to learn to forgive myself. By forgiving myself allowed me not to need an amends from someone else. That's why I don't let things bother me or regrets or whatever the case. I don't let things. I don't hold grudges. I don't do any of that because all that stuff has a huge impact on how your day-to-day mental health and emotional health are. And it even can, if it's big enough, have an impact on your physical health as well. So people, especially people in early sobriety, you should not expect other people to apologize or make an amends just because you're making an amends with other people. What you should do is learn to forgive yourself for whatever your side of the road is, whatever trash you put there, and then forgive yourself and move on with your life. Don't let other people's action or lack of action have an impact on your day-to-day emotional well-being. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I think that goes hand in hand too. Like you were talking about always being apologetic in early recovery. Like if you haven't forgiven yourself or you haven't learned to love yourself, how are you honestly making amends and forgiving somebody else, or honestly able to fully love somebody else when you don't care about yourself anyways?
Yeah, and that comes, I wholeheartedly agree, that comes with a lot with learning to love yourself and know your worth and all that stuff. And that's part of the process. There's so many things that help you learn how to deal with life and look at yourself in a better light and make yourself better in your eyes, that you just have to go through the steps in the process or whatever works for you, because if you don't, then you're never going to learn. Well,
I mean,
Mr. Bricks.
Literally on my 4th step, my first thing was myself bold with like 10 exclamation points, and I had that written like 15 times on my 4th step. Because when I was looking at all life in general, I am the creator of my own making. I played up my part and had the choice in everything I did. It was totally myself. And all those other people I could be mad at, but they were just caught in my hurricane. And I can't be mad at them for the choices I made. I mean, I can, but I shouldn't. So, like, the biggest part of the fourth and fifth step with me was myself, you know. And the best amends I can make myself is, like, staying sober and doing the best I can in my life, you know. Knowing that I'm worthy and I deserve more than when I was out there and I didn't feel I was worthy or deserved anybody or anything.
Yep.
Fuck 'em.
How you doing, Mr. Bricks?
Pretty good there. How you doing, brother?
I'm all right. So, what did you learn from that situation that you dealt with?
That it wasn't worth it at all. It was a minor temptation that I fell into at the time, a moment of weakness, and
So, in the future, when you deal with temptations or moments of weakness, or you feel one coming on, can you think of better ways to handle those types of situations?
yeah, remove myself from the situation before it can escalate.
What if you're not capable of doing that? Like, not physically capable of removing yourself from that situation? Because there are moments like that.
Right. Well, see, here in Florida, I have I don't have any temptation whatsoever. I honestly don't. It was just that one thing that, like, it was so random to find, like, in the trunk of my car that, you know, odds of that happening again are literally slim to none.
So, in that situation, sure, I wholeheartedly agree, but there is going to be times in your life, because none of us can tell the future, where there are going to be temptation. And the longer you go without your addiction, you will get random cravings. It just happens.
Right.
So, what I
noticed
think,
that.
yes, what I think one of the things that I had issues with in early sobriety is reaching out for help. So that situation you dealt with is a perfect example of one of those times where instead of reaching for that pill, you could have called someone, or you could have got on the group or whatever, emailed me or Brian or Chris or anybody and be like, hey, I'm having a situation, and one of us more than likely would have called you back, because we know how important it is. That's what Juggalos in Recovery is about, is the community there to help you. There's plenty of people out here that are willing to listen. So one of those things that I learned in early sobriety was a craving lasts for 7 seconds. Average. 7 seconds.
Oh,
And I've had cravings that last a little bit longer, some that only last a second. But average is 7 seconds. So you need to be able to get your mind off of a craving or whatever it is for 7 seconds to be able to move on and not let it have an impact to your sobriety. So if it's a simple text message, if it's a phone call, if it's an email, that is your tool to counteract those types of situations in your life in the future. So that's why I wanted to ask these questions, is because you got out of that situation something very important that a lot of people sometimes don't get for years in sobriety, is you now have a very important tool, and you can see, I hope you can see how important it is that, hey, I need to reach out to someone. I'm having a shitty day. I'm having a temptation. And it's not just, hey, there's something there in front of me. It could be just one of those days you wake up from having a shitty dream. Just go on the Facebook group and be like, hey, I had a shitty dream, blah, blah, people will talk to you. Like, email, go in the Discord. The Discord's open now. There's all kinds of, and I mean, there's, if you just Google meetings online, I mean, there's more than just Juggles and Recovery out there. And I mean, there's all kinds of tools. So when you get into difficult situations like that, in the moment, it's going to be hard, especially in the beginning, to be aware enough to counteract those thoughts. So what I would like you to do further on, if you get a craving or deal with a temptation or whatever, one, don't shelter yourself. That's just going to hurt you in the long run, because that's what I did, and it's not worth it. Two, I want you to reach out to people. Even if it's just a simple text message, doesn't matter who it is, as long as it's, you know that they're in your corner. Reach out and be like, hey, I'm just checking in. You don't even have to tell them what's going on. Just have a normal conversation with them. I've done that a lot because there's no reason to talk about what's going on in my head. I just needed to get my mind off of what was going on in my head.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
Sometimes all that is, hey, I need to go do something else. I need to talk about something else. So in the future, try doing that.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I heard a little bit about what you were talking about before when I came in about forgiving yourself, and that has been one thing that has been a really hard thing for me to do.
It's a very hard process to deal with.
Well, because there's the fact of, my daughter, still being in Phoenix, but I'm trying to better myself so I can see her, and that knowing that she is, even remotely for a second, and she's not dumb, bro. Like, she knew what was going on, but like somebody had told her, more than what she, more than what, needed to be told to a child. You know what I mean? I mean, she's 13 now, and I just want her to be happy and know that her dad's gonna be okay and be around. That would mean the world to me, knowing that she, lose her dad.
So let me ask you this. I know your daughter is extremely important to you, and she's probably one of your highest reasons for getting clean and sober, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you think, this is just a hypothetical, okay? If later on in life, no matter how hard you work at being clean and sober, no matter how hard you try to build a relationship with her, she doesn't want to be a part of your life, how is that going to impact your sobriety? And there's a reason why I'm asking this question, and I'll tell you after you answer.
It would really hurt. Like,
It would hurt.
It would kill me inside.
Let me tell you this. This is something I want you to think about very hard. No matter who that person is who tells you that they don't want to be part of your life, whether it's your mother, your daughter, your ex-wife, your new girlfriend, whatever the case is, your sobriety is number one priority. Because you can build better relationships with people who deserve those relationships. It is their choice. As long as you put the effort forward, you put a true effort forward, and you don't continue hurting them, and you show them that you've changed, you will have a better chance building that relationship. But not everyone is going to welcome you back with open arms. And that's the reality of life. Do not let that kill your spirits of being clean and sober. Because you might be able to impact someone else someday like I'm impacting you right now, or Chris has impacted you, or Brian's impacted you.
Oh,
Because there's many
honestly,
people.
all y'all have impacted me in a positive way, and I thank God that y'all have.
There's been people in my life. There's been people in my life, Bricks, that want nothing to do with me no matter how good I'm doing in life. But I cannot allow them to affect my sobriety because they don't give a shit. People who I thought gave a shit and really put effort into my life. I haven't spoken to them in years. So keep that in mind. Do not allow people to affect your sobriety. Your sobriety is you cannot stay clean if you don't do the work.
Right.
You've got to do the work. No one else. You have to take care of yourself. No one else is going to take care of you.
Yeah, speaking of that, besides people inside of recovery, have you told anybody else about your fuck up? Did you
My
tell
girl?
your girl? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, having people you care about in your life, even if they aren't inside of a sobriety network like we are, is important because they will also help hold you accountable in a way that only people on the outside can.
Right.
So, I mean, Frank has a good point, man. So we're talking about self-worth and all this other stuff earlier, right? Like, when I got sober, the same woman I'm married now, we were split up. She straight told me, like, I don't think we'll ever get together. I can't do this shit with you no more. And I had, all this stuff going in my head. Should I just pack up and run, do all this? I have 2 kids. My kids never kept me sober, and they're the world to me. The best thing I ever did in early recovery was learning to love myself and forgive myself. And I'll tell you, like, just learning to do that and growing and changing and healing, like, eventually she was the one that asked me back out because I was fine without having her in my life. I used to ask her back out and she'd shoot me down. That's my first couple months of sobriety, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna figure me out. You do whatever the fuck you want. And that was one of the best things I decided to do. And I would say about 11 months sober, we were fooling around or whatever. And she was bringing me back to the halfway house I was living at, and she said some shit like, oh, you're basically my boyfriend. And I was like, no, the fuck I am not. She's like, what do you mean? We slept together. And I'm like, that does not mean a fucking thing. And she's like, well, what do I gotta do? And I'm like, I don't care. I will never beg for you to be in my life again. You want me, I'll always love you and take you back, but I will never beg for you to stay. Those days are done, basically. And she was like, fine, will you be my boyfriend again? I'm like, of course. But when you decide to leave, just know that door may never open again. And here we are married, everything's going good, fresh start. Been back together a few years, on and off, almost 15 years. But I don't think she would have ever came back if I was still, not confident in myself, not knowing my worth, not knowing I love myself. I think she's seen all those changes and was like, man, I'm going to lose him, basically. And same thing, like, with my kids. My kids wouldn't want to be around me if I was still that miserable fuck I was 4 or 5 years ago. Like, 5 years ago. Like, they wouldn't have nothing to do with me. I wasn't the best dad in the world. I will shut up and go play so I can get high and drunk. You know? Like, now they love me to death and always want to do stuff with me to the point where I don't even have enough time to do everything I want to do. You know? But, like, they're in my life today because of learning to forgive myself and learning to love myself. Like, but if they were my higher power to get sober, I wouldn't be sober. Not me. Like, I had to do it because I wanted to do it, not because anybody else wanted me to do it, or because I was doing it for somebody else. Because I tried getting sober for them. I tried getting sober for the relationship. I tried to stay sober and not to go to prison. None of that shit ever worked. It wasn't until I was sick and tired of, I can't live like this anymore. I don't have this shit in me no more. That I decided to do something different, and it stuck.
That's what I gotta do is do something different, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting no outcome.
Well, you're already in Florida doing something different, but what I'm trying to get at is you got to make sure you're doing it for you, not for anybody else. Because, like Frank was saying, you never know what's going to come up in your life. Like, there's going to be temptations, there's going to be times, but if you're truly about changing your life, it is going to matter what's thrown your way. You're still going to be doing what you're doing, regardless of what happens in your life.
You have to be your main motivation for getting sober, because you are the only person that's going to hold you accountable when nobody else can see you. So you have to be the one that makes all of the hard decisions and has to make all of the right choices. Because while you may be doing this in effort to see your kid or to have yourself around for your kid, that's ultimately you. You are your own motivation. You want to be able to have your kid in your life. So your motivation to be sober in the end is you. So make sure you hold yourself accountable as much as we do.
It makes a lot of sense. It does. You're right. I can't keep running the insanity circle expecting something new and different to happen. I gotta break that cycle and want something better for myself, because I do. I want something better for myself, because I know people will notice it, and I know when they notice that I'm doing something positive. And it's a positive thing that I want for myself more than anything. I want just to maintain that sobriety and I gotta be around too for when we go. Where's Rick's? Like, where's Waldo with the guy?
Are you a part of our Facebook group?
Yes, I am.
I would like you to make a post in there asking for a sponsor to help you go through the steps.
All right.
I think with what you've shared already, it would benefit you to go through the steps. You have a good head on your shoulders. You have the right motivations. I think you need to find someone who is willing to help you walk you through the steps, whether it's the Juggalos and recovery steps or not. I don't care. All the steps mean the same thing. As long as it's what the steps do is it gives you the building blocks to be able to get to the levels that you need, that you want to be at. And if the steps don't work, then let me know, and we will find another way to help you out. There's also
I plan on buying a copy of the 12 steps of the book that you have available online for you guys, and I want to make a donation too as well. So this thing keeps going. You know what I mean?
Can you send? Do me a favor and go whenever you get a chance. Go on the Juggalos and Recovery website.
Yeah.
On the contact us page. Fill that out. That way, with your email address, that comes directly to my email, and I will send you a digital copy of the book.
Oh, that'd be cool. Well, I still want to actually buy the actual book.
I mean, you can buy the book if you want, but I'd rather you have the information now than have to wait to purchase it.
Right.
So I can send you a digital copy of the book, and then when I get that email, I'll send you the digital copy. That way you can at least start. And that's just a general aspects, general knowledge types book. The steps. The steps will be able to help you go more in depth and start you on the right path and learn the right tools that you need to keep progressing in sobriety. So the faster you hit the road running, the better off you're going to be.
Right.
And you don't. The biggest thing I want you to understand about doing the steps is you work at your own pace. I've known people that take years doing it. I did my first flow through of the steps in a month and a half. My first month and a half being sober.
Same.
I just ran right through it because
60 days out of jail. Same shit.
Yeah. I did it that way because it allowed me to understand the steps, and then I can apply the steps in my daily life after that because now I know how they work.
So then I go through my steps every year officially. Besides trying to do them daily to the best of my ability.
I probably should do that, but I don't. I'm lazy.
I fire my sponsor and get a new one and go through the steps every year.
Well,
I don't do any of that shit.
I like to get different perspectives, so I keep growing in. I like to fire people and get a different perspective from a new person. Once I feel like I've learned all I can learn from you, I'm looking for the next person to learn more. Because everybody's recovery is different, therefore I pick up things from different people, and I'm like Tech 9 clusterfuck, you know? I just boil all this shit down, find out what works for me, find the next person, boil their shit down, apply the shit that applies, let the other shit fly, and I keep learning and keep growing, because that's the only way I'm going to stay sober is growth.
I think one of the meetings that we need to have is a clusterfuck meeting.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Some of our meetings after the recording usually are a clusterfuck.
Oh yeah.
That'd be
Definitely
fresh.
when we go uncensored and unrecorded, that's when shit gets weird.
Oh yeah. But with that, I think
more clusterfucks, Frank.
do what?
I can't wait till you're back stateside so you can participate in some of those clusterfucks without the recording. It gets interesting.
Oh man. Yes.
It's mostly just Crazy
less
Dave
than
being
2 months.
crazy.
I talked to Crazy Dave earlier this morning.
But with that, guys, I am going to officially close the meeting, and then I'm going to get off here, but you guys are welcome to stay on and chit-chat if you want. So with that, no matter how long the road, if we walk together, we will get there. Even though we will face some of the darkest evil ever seen, we will face it as a community and stand fearless in its path. Nothing will stop us. With the help of our family and community, we will overcome persecution and tribulations that life makes from time to time. To suffer and haven't found the path to serenity, we will continue to search for you and help you no matter your ailment. We carry our stories and messages to everyone who will listen. As the sun descends and night becomes, we rise to take the path. Thank you guys for everything.